Testing, 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 testing. JB here. April 20th, 2023. Not going to be on too long. Same stocks I'm in, same stuff to talk about. So not really much to update from yesterday and Tuesday. Weight Watchers looking pretty good here. Hopefully it holds the gains. Trading under 9 for a little bit in the morning. Then some couple spikes up to highs. Little pullbacks, spikes up to highs, and it seems like a rinse repeat. Really think this is headed to double digits, but there's a lot of I put it on the watch list this morning. It's a divisive name. Some people think it's under $5 valuation, and we'll get back under 5. Goldman Sachs thinks it's 13 plus. There's some other analysts who upgrade the stock. I think this acquisition of Sequence is the start of a repricing of its valuation, and I think it. 12, 13, 14, maybe there's some FOMO, especially over the weekend. People start doing more research on these weight loss drugs and that whole sector as a whole, and then they say, oh wow, I didn't know Weight Watchers was getting into that. So I think it was very smart of them, and I think it just bodes well for the future. So I talked about yesterday the bear case on Weight Watchers, and a lot of reason why some of those folks who say it's going back under $5 despite this acquisition is because they think that the insurance companies aren't going to cover these weight loss drugs when Sequence prescribes. I don't even know how that system works. I have to look over the weekend, but they say it's going to cost between $800 and $1,200 a month for someone to get the prescription and pay for it. I mean, if that was the case, then you'd be short every LLY, the NVO, and most of those drugs from NVO are made for diabetes patients. So not really meant for weight loss, but it's the benefit. They just have to get approved for that. But so then you be shorting all those other stocks, right? LLY and NVO have doubled 200% increase over the last year and a half just based on that side of their business. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So that's Weight Watchers. At some point, I'll look to lock some of my calls in, and if it stays over 9, I might look for some later dated strikes, inexpensive ones to play for some FOMO that might happen next week, the week after, so on and so forth. So that's that. DXCM. So I was a little worried. I wouldn't say worried, but tomorrow's expiration. I was actually worried before the open, looking at futures, thinking I'm going to lose the rest of my profits on DXCM with the futures down. I was thinking it was 0.75% on the S&P, but spiked out of the open all the way up to 125. You take a look at the chart; it's getting close to the upper Bollinger Band. So I didn't have too many left, but I'm like, let me lock it in, take that off, and focus on other things. Can it go to 126, 127? Maybe, but is it worth the extra stress and patience waiting for that to possibly happen? Whereas it's up $7. Well, actually, I have to see what it did. What was it on Monday? Let me pull up my charts. I think it was it 114 on Monday before that upgrade? Let's see. Do I have it here? Yeah, it was 115 coming into this week. And then the upgrade, some consolidation on Tuesday, big move on yesterday, and then some follow through. It's above the upper Bollinger Band, and the last 3 times it got above it, it snapped back. So maybe if it pulls back, I'll look to re-enter DXCM for another move. So that's that. Cardlytics, what a tease. Almost my April 750s, which I pretty much wrote off last week, started to come back to life. They were actually flat at the close yesterday after CDLX rallied up to 757 was the high, closed at 747, I believe. And then sure enough, what does it do? It lays an egg here today, down over 7.5%. Would love to see it just hold its ground here. Still have some the May strikes. Just going to hold on to those. Just a little frustrating. Same with Editis. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce the ticker. But that's down 4% after looking like maybe it was going to have another leg and test the mid-8s, possibly 9. So sorry. Still have some May strikes. I have a couple of the 750s left. I might look to lock those in. Kind of frustrating there. And then Pool. So Pool, I was going to put on the watch list. I was watching it to start a week and last week for some premium build. It actually went from 320 or so up to 340 after I think it was Raymond James upgrade the stock. Then they come out this morning with their earnings. Just a disappointment. Missed estimates. On the EPS side, pretty bad. Revenue side, lower guidance. Talked about bad weather slowing sales. I don't know. I hate when companies blame it on weather, but what can you do? Goes all the way down to 317, opens at 317, and then just rallies. Went up to 327, back down, and it was 329. I'm looking at the calls, and I saw the 340s. This is like an hour and a half ago, and the 340s were still $1, and they expired tomorrow. I said that risk reward just doesn't jive with me, because you got to hope that it bounces. Not only is it bounce, got to bounce in the green, and the earnings report wasn't anything to write home about. And sure enough, was it due? It spiked right at 1140 from 329 all the way up to 342. So just pretty. I don't know if they had a conference call at 11:30. Maybe is that one? And then sure enough, those calls went from $1 to $5. I don't even want to look right now what they are, because it'll just annoy me. But I'll look anyway. I don't know, 180 by 380. So you could probably get out at 280. Widespread. So even if you got a fill, it could fade back down to 329. Now you're going to scramble to try and get out so you don't lose money. So interesting move. I'll just kind of sit on the sideline. Site, which was Landscape, I think it's called Landscape One. Is that what that's called? Site One Landscape. That one's doing well. So I'll have to see when they. Let's see. They're going to announce their earnings on May 3rd. So maybe one to watch for some premium build at their earnings. So I might look at that one. Not today, though. Not today. Other names I'm looking for: Lotto, Spotify, which I keep saying, many upgrades, price target upgrades. Analysts raised their rating. What day was that? So yesterday was Truist raised their price target. KeyBank raised their price target. That was the day before. And then I think on the 14th, I'm trying to see who did it. But needless to say, at some point it's going to break out into the 140s and possibly 150. Fridays usually, for some reason, Spotify runs on Fridays. I don't know, some fund decides that's their day. They're going to accumulate shares. I don't know what it is. So I don't know if I'll look before the close or tomorrow, right after the open. But at some point it's going to break out. So I continue to have it on the watch list, so you can kind of wrap your head around why I continue to post that chart up there, because I think at some point it's going to break out. And then right now the calls are very inexpensive. So once it does, it just has to move 5% over a day or two, and those calls are going to be 500, 600, 700, maybe even more than that, depending on what day it moves. If it's on a Monday, it'll be a little different if you have the weekly strikes. If it moves at the end of today and into tomorrow, I mean, the risk reward there is it'll pay out nicely. So we'll have to see. So that's that on Spotify. Align, another name they report next week. Seems every time the market opens, it opens red, it goes into the green, and then sells off. So I think a lot has to do with the company buying back shares, and they're doing it before the noon hour, and then the folks who are selling just take it back down. So I'll probably just stay away, just because it seems to be a premium killer. It's just not good for options. So I'll probably sit on the sidelines for that one. Oh, here's Weight Watchers going to try and break new highs again. Yeah, and then in regards to the market, I mean, you had Tesla earnings after the close, so everybody's looking at margins. Just talking about on the watch, everybody's talking about the price cuts over the 6 price cuts on Tesla's done, which is hurting their margins. It's always another story, right? First, it's always deliveries. It's whatever narrative they want, bearish folks want to paint, they do it, right? Logistics, how are people going to get deliveries? There's always so once they fix the margin, it'll be something else. It'll be the Cybertruck, or it'll be the semi's delayed, or there's supply issues, component issues, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and I haven't traded Tesla in quite some time, but Musk did come on and say he thinks there's another 12 months of turbulence in the economy. So I think that kind of rattled markets a little bit. And then you have I forget who one of the Fed members speaking. Pretty much, it wasn't hawkish, but it was someone hawkish, pretty much confirming that probably raise rates 0.25% at the May meeting. Yeah, and it's this chop. And you take a look at the S&P. It was down here to start the week. It was down to 4. Did it hit 410? I think it did. And now for the week, and we're down 0.07% right now on the S&P for the week. So All things considered, not bad. You chalk it up to maybe some consolidation, and maybe if we rally tomorrow, get back up to 415 on a SPY, maybe that bodes well heading into next week. And next week there's a huge amount of earnings that the mega cap names are going to. Some of them are going to report. Apple's on. Oh, actually, Microsoft's next week. Meta's next week. Apple's the week after. Amazon's a week from today. Microsoft is Tuesday. Meta is Wednesday. There's a lot of other names reporting. Boeing reports. So certainly could give some direction to market with not much going on until the start of next month when we get data and then the Fed meeting. So should be interesting. I think that's it. I don't really have much else to talk about. Roku just nasty this week. You would think, considering Netflix coming out, you would think Roku should do somewhat well, or at least better than Netflix. And Netflix is actually green today, while Roku's still getting pummeled. Yext, and I want to jinx Yext, finally starting to show signs of a reversal. I still have some April strikes, which probably I had already locked some of those in. So those are probably going to expire pending any crazy move today and tomorrow. But I still have the May strikes. So I think once it breaks 10, it's going to be 11, 12. But at least it's looking a little better there. I'm trying to think of some other names. SSYS giving back all its gains from yesterday. You have NNDM getting approval to go ahead with a tender offer, but I just don't see how that's going to happen. So, yeah, CMG. I mean, take a look at all these casual dining stocks. McDonald's. I didn't even look at Wingstop. I mean, Yum. Did I pull up Yum chart? It's like people have finally come to the realization, number one, the consumer is probably, still doing the casual dining thing, right? That's one. And two, as costs start to come down, these price hikes that were implemented as inflation was heading higher, they're going to stay. Consumers are going to pay more. They're going to pad their margins, and these casual dining stocks are just going to be cash generating machines. So you look at CMG, and I think I looked yesterday, the day before, the high, I think was it 1950? I have to go back and look. But just a nice breakout from that. So let's see if I put up the line, which I think I had a cross. Just stinks that I kind of missed this run. But, I mean, you look, I'm like, maybe it's 1900, maybe it's 1950 before it's all said and done. And they report, I think they report in 2 weeks. Let's see. Oh no, they report Tuesday. That's a tough one. Maybe some lottos tomorrow for a move, 1850 or so, but I'll probably just stay away and wait. I mean, a lot of them, McDonald's too is up, but I mean, this is start of March, it's 14 and change. Now it's 1800. So, I mean, it doesn't mean it can't go higher. It just, it's riding the upper Bollinger Band. Upper Bollinger Band is 1812. It's at 18, what's it at right now? 1810? Let's see, did I pull it? It's 1808. So, Bard came out, upgraded the stock, their price target, not the stock, to 2,000 from 1,900, maintains outperform. Morgan Stanley came out 2 days ago, raised it to 1743, but they have an equal rate rating. Truist raised their price target 2 days ago to 1960 from 1,800. So maybe that 1,900 handle is probably the stop there. I think that's it, folks. I'm not sure if I'm going to get on the audio unless something else moves here. I was trying to watch it on, was it Monday or Tuesday, the first launch? I'm trying to remember what day that was. But anyway, the Starship. I don't know if I was a kid. I watched Star Trek. I watched Star Wars. I like sci-fi and I love history, right? Because the history is learning from the past and seeing what people did, and then to me, science fiction, all that is the future, right? To think big, to dream, right? So back, we used to have the space shuttle program and all those things, and I think that was a big part of America and U.S. and the world to dream about the future. And I think it's important for kids to be able to see stuff like that, to inspire them, right? So I think this is such a big deal, and for me to see people like Malcolm, I remember when I forget which one, what they call it, the Falcon, it's still going. When they were testing the Falcon out and trying to get their stage stage one to come and land on those pads out in the ocean, I remember they tumbled and exploded, and people were like mocking it on Twitter. I'm like, why you? And then 6 months or 12 months later to see them land and synchronized landing, it's just like you'd think it's out of a sci-fi novel, but it happens. So to see this the shuttle take off, unfortunately it exploded, but people are gonna be out there, oh, it exploded. But I mean that's part of testing. Things like that happen. That's why you do tests, right? So it doesn't happen with people on board. So yeah, anyway, I thought that was a great moment today, and hopefully leads to more innovation, inspires people, things like that. That's it, folks. Let's have a great day. Spies up here at 412.50. Will be nice to see a melt higher into the end of the day after this chop. Get back up to 415, but maybe tomorrow. All right, let's have a great day. Rock and roll.